Hey guys, it's Julie sitting out on my porch, in the South, and the reason for this video is because I have had at least 20 or more comments about my accent, because I'm so Southern, y'all. My mother will not like that. But anyway, the thing about being in the South is family, fun, friends, things like that. Just like everywhere else, one of the big things that they do a lot of in the South is sit out on the porch and tell stories. So, since so many people have had things to say about my accent, I'm going to tell you a story. You may like the story, you may not like the story. Some of the stories I tell have morals because I'm a big storyteller at my house. Some of them are kind of shocking, so you'll have to decide for yourself. The name of this story is Coming Home. It involves a little girl and her mother, and it is set in the time after the Civil War, maybe about 20 years. So, things were not so good for African Americans. But everybody always has a sad story or a happy story or whatever you want to do. But this is my Southern accent story. The lady who is involved in the story, her name is Miss Henrietta, and she has a daughter. Her name is also Henrietta, but they call her Little Henry. They worked in a house and they cleaned and cooked for a lady, Mrs. Johns. Miss Johns was the nicest little lady that you ever want to have that lived down in the parish. They lived down in Mississippi and went to work every day. Everywhere that Big Henry went, Little Henry was with her, cleaning, cooking, watching, working in the garden, things like that. Mrs. Johns, although she was the sweetest little lady, had a daughter named Tavia. Tavia, although she seemed as sweet as sugar, because Southern belles are sometimes just so sweet. Sometimes they have barbs that are just very well hidden, so you have to watch out for that. You guys that have those little Southern belles as wives, you better watch it, because they have tempers at times. Well, Tavia moved to New York City. Can you believe, why would someone go live there? That's what her mama said. Well, her husband was setting up a practice for medicine and needed Tavia to come with him, even though she didn't want to go. So since she's setting up house, Mrs. Johns tells Big Henry, well, you all let little Henry go up there with Tavia for a while and set up housekeeping. She's going to probably try to have a baby, and your daughter does the best. She's just like you, Big Henry. She won't be gone long, no more than a few months. So the family talks about it. Little Henry does not want to go because she goes everywhere her mother goes. They're in the garden, they're working with the herbs and all the things that grow. Her greatest joy in life is being with her mama and being out on the land, wandering around, touching the plants, feeling the plants, smelling them, seeing if they're ready for harvest and all the things that they're going to do. Because Little Henry and Big Henry were known throughout the parish for healing. They knew everything there was about herbs, and some of the stuff has trickled down through the generations to some of their descendants. So they send little Henry up there, and Tavia's as mean as she can be to her. Doesn't treat her well, and little Henry doesn't like it up there anyway. It's cold, and the people talk so funny. They talk so fast. She can't understand a word that they're saying, and they can't understand what she's saying because they say she talked too slow. Well, little Henry stays with her for a year. She stays with her for 2 years. They still won't send her home because Tavia is trying to have a baby, and she just got to have somebody from down home to help her out. So Henry thinks to herself, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm never going to get out of here. What am I going to do? This lady has already had one baby, and it didn't do so well, and it didn't thrive, and it didn't make it. So what little Henry had to decide for herself was that I've been here almost 2 years, and I don't think that she deserves a baby. Her mother sent her off on the train with all the things that she needed, all the knowledge, plus packets of seeds for things to grow in the yard if they had one. Sage, because everybody needs a little sage. It makes everything taste so much better and cures a lot of ills. She sent her off with mint to pick you up some days when you're not feeling well. She also sent her off with parsley. And she also sent her off with a secret herb that you don't talk about because it's so bitter. And women, they know about it, but they don't spread that knowledge around a lot. So as she's getting on the train to leave with her mama, the first thing and the last thing that her mama tells her after she hugs and kisses her is, use what you have, baby. And she did. She stayed up there in New York City for 5 years, and not once did Tavia have one child. Not one of them lived to see the day of light, because she had treated Henry so bad. Henry didn't think she deserved a child, so that super secret bitter herb that went in Tavia's peppermint tea every morning, none of those babies ever caught. And at the end of 5 years, when Tavia was finally 17, they sent her home. The moral of the story is, be careful what you do. Be careful of Southern Belles, and always know the taste of your herbs, because peppermint does not taste bitter. Bye, y'all.